welcome and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ndutta and thank you so much for tuning in to another video. I think I need to start by saying Happy New Year. This is the first video of 2021. I hope everyone is fine and you are all taking care of yourselves. So, long story short, I've been stuck in a rut and I'm fed up and I'm ready to get my life back on track. So today is Sunday. I actually started recording this video yesterday. So what I'll do is I'll switch over to Ndutta of yesterday and she'll explain what really is going on, and then we'll get back to it. So enjoy. It is crazy how much resistance coming from myself that I've faced to start this video. From the time I've thought about doing it to actually recording something now, it's taken a lot. What I can say is I've been in a huge rut for pretty much the whole year and I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. I have missed recording a video or YouTube videos. I've missed writing on my blog. I've missed being creative, and I don't know what's been going on per se. I can't really explain it, but all I know is I'm tired of it and I don't want for it to go on much longer. So hi, this is me and my goal is to remove myself from this rut that I'm going through. Okay, so that said, I made a list of things that I need to do to get myself out of a rut, things that have worked for me before, or things that make me feel good or make me feel productive and so on. I actually categorized them. So I had things like physical health, my environment, mental health, self-care. I'll actually maybe put them on the screen somewhere. So I am going to start tackling that one by one. I probably won't get through everything on the list, but I will try. First things first, I'll probably just grab something to eat and then we will do the first thing on the list, which is my environment.
After like that, it sounds unique and a surprise, and something horrible has to happen. We don't cover the risks responsible for, and more about what can I do and how can we respond so that the world that we're leaving for our children and grandchildren this week is a better place. So I think climate change asks us to shift our thinking about responsibility to be less about backward-looking responsibility and more about looking forward to the kind of world we want to create and what we need to do together to create.
This will take it to the next.
So then, does that let people off the hook in other parts of the world?
Okay, I'll eat and then
do anything about
and then we'll get started.
In India right now.
So now that that's done, I'm all nice and full. We can tackle the first category, which is your environment or my environment. I am a very firm believer of your physical environment impacts the way you feel and how the clarity of your mind. I am also one of those people who, whenever I'm going through something, whenever I'm stressed or I'm overwhelmed with something, my space will reflect those emotions. So I'll have clutter everywhere. I won't really organize things as they should be. And one thing that I found is sometimes when I put in good music or a good podcast and start cleaning, you even get to think a lot about random stuff, which is very helpful. So we're going to get cleaning and then we'll move on to the next thing. Okay, so now that your physical environment is clean, you've put things away, it smells good, now we can move on to the next step, which is mental health. A big part, at least for me, when I'm stuck in a rut, is what's happening up here, what's happening in my mind, what I'm feeling. And I find that one of the biggest things that helps me is taking time off of social media. So what I actually ended up doing is I went to the screen time application on my phone and I locked all the social apps. I gave it to my mom and she put in a password, so I wasn't able to access any of my social media without the password, and I told her to keep the password away from me. And I found that it actually really helps. You tend to check your phone so many times in a day, and we have no idea how much that actually impacts our mental health. But by actually taking time off, you find that you're able to focus on what's happening inside. I find that that really helps me. Another big thing is prayer and meditation, however that looks for you, whether it is spending time outside, whether it is actually opening your Bible and doing a devotion.
I want a church girl that go to church and read your Bible.
Whether it is sitting cross-legged and closing your eyes and meditating, however that looks for you, just spending some quiet time is very helpful. Once you have prayer and meditation, gratitude is a big one. We tend to complain so much about the things that are happening in our lives, but once you take a bit of time to reflect on your life and see what's going on and be grateful and thankful for the things that you have, the people that are in your life, it puts a lot of things into perspective, and you're able to actually be like, oh, my life isn't that bad, you know. So I find that making a gratitude list really helps, and also including, if you journal every day, now I'm getting mixed up, but journaling is one, and if you journal every day, just adding a few lines, maybe 2 or 3 lines, and say, this is what I'm grateful for today. I find that that really helps take you out of the rut. And as I mentioned also, journaling really helps me. I find that I've been able to sort out a lot of things that are happening in my mind just through journaling. Sometimes you don't even know like what you're going to write on the paper, but just starting, and then you start asking yourselves questions, one thing leads to another, and all of a sudden like you're deep into the root of what's going on, and all of it is inside you. Like, you're not looking externally for any help. All of it is purely from just taking time to know yourself better, taking time to ask yourself like, yo, what's really going on? Yes, I know I'm in a rut, but what's the underlying problem that I'm going through? I find that that helps. And in as much as you seek help or you get the strength from inside, I think seeking help from outside is also very helpful. So if you do have access to a therapist, if you do have access to a counselor, or even if you have a sibling or a really close friend or a parent that you can talk to and just unleash, I think that's important. And I know for some people, I know especially for me, I'm usually very afraid to tell my friends everything that's happening in my life, because I also don't want them to have to carry the burden. But honestly, most of the time, your friend wants you to tell them these things. Of course, you have to be very selective with who you tell everything, or even selective with what you choose to say. But just opening up to someone, I find is very helpful. Your friends most of the time don't mind, and they actually want you to come to them because they'd rather hear what's going on than see you suffer and see you suffer alone, especially. So talking to someone really helps. Socializing, spending time with family, sharing a meal, all these things I find really help me sort out like my mental health. And another big one is making down a list of things that I've been avoiding. So if you're anything like me, if you're stuck in a rut, you tend to avoid doing some things, or avoid talking to people, or avoid socializing, all these things. So what I found helped me, or is helping me, is making a list of things that I've been putting off, things that I have been avoiding. And even if you don't get to finish everything, just seeing everything in one place, number one, is very helpful, because it puts things into perspective and you're like, oh, it's not even that much that I've been putting off. And then once you're able to see, you can decide, okay, what do I want to start with? So I really recommend writing down all the things that you've been putting off, and then choosing one thing. Just pick one thing that you can achieve that day. If you have a bigger goal, I suggest, or I highly recommend, breaking it down into smaller pieces and then choosing one small piece to achieve in one day or in 2 days, in a week or a weekend. However much time you need, but just starting. I think once you start and once you finish something, even if it's simple, you kind of encourage yourself. You're like, oh, I finished this one thing, so I can definitely finish these other things, right? And speaking about something that I have been avoiding, because I myself have been in a rut, I have been avoiding creating my vision board for this 2021. Yes, we're in the middle of February and I have yet to create my vision board. I started like the year really strong. I printed pictures, I cleaned off my old vision board. But did I create a new one? No. So how we've talked about picking one thing that you've been avoiding and tackling that first. For me today, I am going to tackle my vision board. I want to plan the year. I think it's very, very important to plan your year, set intentions for the year. So I'm going to take time finally to put my vision board together, and then once that's done, we'll move on to the next stage or next step category of getting out of a rut, which is arguably one of the most fun. So yeah. Let's do this. So it has been over a month in the making. I started in January. I lost motivation, but I'm proud to say we finally did it. I finally, mid-February, I finally finished my vision board. So now that you have your physical environment fixed, your mental is in check, we move to physical health. So let's go work out.
Hey you guys, what's going on? It's Mike Pill and this is Hip Hop Fit.
In case you're wondering, these dance workouts are no joke. Like, you actually really break a sweat. Woo! But it was so fun. So excuse me for looking like I've been swimming in Vaseline, but this really brings me to my last category, which is self-care. Basically, self-care to me is just doing everything that makes you happy, that makes you feel good, that puts a smile on your face. So whether it's putting on a bunch of makeup, and taking pictures randomly, whether it's doing your full face routine, whether it's doing your nails, literally anything self-care related that makes you feel good inside and out would be my last tip for getting out of a rut. So I just finished doing like a little a little facial and now I'm just about to get to bed, go to bed early. That's another form of self-care because you need to get enough sleep. One other thing that I wanted to say is it's okay, like during this whole thing, if you're in a rut, however long that you've been in it, it's fine. The thing that I just want you to remember is you're not going through it alone, and it's not like the end of the world. Please just try and get yourself out of it, however long that may take for you. Like this whole video was shot in the span of maybe 3 days, and that's how long it took me to like do all those steps that I was showing you guys. But above all else, be kind and be patient with yourself and never stop trying. Even if you keep falling, even if you fall off track, it's fine. Like embrace the falling, embrace the not meeting your goals and everything, but don't be content with it and try and get out of it, okay? So yeah, I'm gonna head to bed. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful. I would really love to hear from you. Have you ever been in like a creative rut, a psychological rut, and how do you get out of it? Do you do any of the steps in this video? Any steps that you do that I didn't mention? I would love to hear from you. So until the next video, I'll see you next time. Kaale.